I've Clash collected over $9,000 this month, and we're on track to hitting 20K. And most of that was due to outbound Instagram. So I'm going to share with you the entire Instagram DM script that allowed me to book 12 sales calls every single week. So the system consists of 4 key phases. That starts off with the connect phase, moves on to the qualifying phase, then providing help, and then suggesting. So let's get straight into the script. So the first phase is the connect phase. The entire purpose of this phase is to get people to engage with you, where you actually grab their attention because you're the one saying the DM. So you have to grab their attention to make them reply with you. And the whole point of it is just get in front of the lead. Just get in front of them. Just like show yourself to them. Just tell them that you're here. And that is by sending that initial DM. The only way you can get in front of the lead is by sending the initial DM. So here's the exact opener that I used, which had I would say close to a 25% response rate, which is unheard of in my industry. Yo, Mohammed, thanks for commenting on my post. Now, obviously, don't say this if they haven't commented on your post or your reel. Okay? So this is only if they've commented on your post or on your reel. So, yo, Mohammed, thanks for commenting on my post. Yo, Daniel, thanks for commenting on my reel. Now you want to move on to a simple question that opens up a question. And just an open-ended question. So I saw you ran a school community, bro. What kind of clients do you work with? Another one. So you ran a coaching business, bro. What kind of clients do you work with? Just make sure the question is very easy to answer and it's not too personal. Make sure it's really low friction, because the lower friction the question is, the easier it is for them to respond. And we want to reduce the amount of friction they have between us asking the question and then replying. So just make it really, really easy to answer. Now, once they've answered that, you want to move into the next question, which is this or that. This is a this or that question. For example, do you coach your clients one-to-one or in groups? Again, a really simple question that's going to help you understand where they're at with their business. And again, just a really low friction question, which literally anyone could just respond to this with typing a couple of words, right? And it takes a couple of seconds as well. So that is the connect phase done, where you're basically getting them to engage with you, getting them to reply, because that is the most hardest part of a cold DM, is getting the lead to reply. Because once you've got them to reply, it's so easy from them. So you've got their attention, you've got in front of the lead, and you've sent the initial DM. Now let's move over to the qualifying phase, where we actually figure out if you can help them or not. Now I see so many coaches, so many people on the online space just working with whoever they can, working with whoever just replies to them, and that is utter bullshit. That is the reason they're not going to scale their business in the long term. You want to find out who exactly you can serve and who exactly you can't serve. You have to create a polarization effect. If you don't create that, then people aren't going to want to work with you. You're just going to accept everyone. And I think when you start scaling your business past 20, 30, 40 clients every single month, you're bringing on board, it just becomes absolutely unscalable. And you're not going to give good client results because you're working with someone in one niche and then another one in another niche and then some guy in an unheard of niche. You just won't be able to give results and create content off, because the more specific content you can create, the better leads you're going to attract. Such as this YouTube video is just for coaches. So I'm only going to attract coaches. If I made this video for anyone, it would have got me hundreds of views, but not brought me that many clients. So you want to figure out if you can actually help them or not. And you have to be bullshit. You have to tell the truth to yourself. No bullshitting. And also make sure that their goals align with what exactly you can do. Because if their goals are something different, like I want to scale my business to $100,000 a month, and you can only help them scale to 20K a month, then that's not going to make sense. Their goals are completely different to what you offer, and you're not going to be able to help them. Or even long-term brand sustainability, you're going to get terrible testimonials as well. So the first part, which we do in the qualification phase, is we ask a gap question, which is basically understanding where they are right now and where they want to be, as well as what do they need to do in order to achieve their goal. For example, hey Mohammed, what do you think you need? What do you think you need to do in order to achieve that goal? That's where they are right now. And what do they need to do in order to achieve that goal? Now, the next question is basically where you're providing a bit of help. So you want to reply to this. You want to ask this question once they've replied to this one, and never send a message longer than 1 to 2 ideas, because what you're doing then is you're shifting the authority from you to them. You were the one that had authority. Now they're the one that have the authority. You want to be the one in power, and the way you can be in power is just by sending, I would say, less than 2-line DMs. Make sure it's just 1 line max, but you still want to convey your messages. So for example, after providing help, I actually help people do this for a living, which lacks some help. Now, again, just one thing I just want to add on, just a side point from this entire script. If you're creating content, you have a lot of content as well as case studies and social proof on your YouTube or even on your Instagram. That's gonna amplify this entire process, and it's gonna skyrocket the reply rate. So, yeah. So again, I actually help people do this for a living. Would you like some help? Now, if they say yes, now we move on to the suggesting phase. Look, if they say no, just keep following up with them. But if they say yes, we move on to the suggesting phase. So, hey Mohammed, glad you're looking for some help. Let's jump on a call. Here's my calendar link. You just spare 2 minutes to book in, and you give them this link to book in, and then you send your booking link. And once they've done that, just say thanks for booking in. Looking forward. Now, that is the entire sales script with the 4-step system, the connect, qualify, providing, and suggesting system that's allowed me to consistently book 12 sales calls every single week simply from Instagram. And all this has allowed me, again, cash collect $9,000 and already 16 days into the month, and we're moving on to 20K, and I'm only 16 years old. So follow along and join my free community, top link in the description. If you want to work one-to-one with me and get exactly similar results to this, or even better, I book 20, 50, 60, 70 sales calls a week, which some of you might not believe is possible, but it is. Second link in the description. Apply to work one-to-one with me.